was a blind man, and he heard Jesus was passing by. Jesus, help me. Jesus, help me. He wouldn't shut up. And Jesus wasn't the least bit offended by all that. Everybody else was just, you're making a commotion. You're having the disturbance you're causing. But there was a burning desire to reach the one who he knew could help him. And he wasn't going to allow anybody to shut him up. He cried louder when they told him to stop. But you know, we need to have that attitude. We don't ever need to sink down under the weight of things that look impossible in our lives. God wants us to begin to cry out and to be persistent in crying out. How many of you know that there have been times in your life when you have cried out about something? What happened sometimes? Did it get better? No. You know, we ought to understand what's going on with that sort of thing happens. The devil doesn't like it. The devil is afraid. The devil is going to throw up every roadblock in your pathway that he can think of to discourage you and to say, you're wasting your time, nothing is going to happen. Well, he knows that something is going to happen. He's afraid. He's afraid he's going to lose a hold. God is wanting to break some things. But we're going to have the kind of desperation that this man had. Think of what he had to overcome. I mean, just the experience. The relentless, hopeless, endless experience of watching his son have to suffer and standing by as a parent and unable to help him. And nothing he'd ever done over all these years had changed the circumstance one iota. I mean, he had a lot of discouragement to overcome. And I tell you, every one of us, as I say, that knows the Lord, there's things in your life that parallel that, where they've just been there, and they've been there, and they've been there. And the discouragement comes from the fact that it's so long-standing, and it's always been like this. But this man didn't let that stop him, did he? He kept coming. He kept coming. Well, you know, what was going on when Jesus came down? There was an argument going on. And notice who it was that was arguing with the disciples. It was the teachers of the law. Now, they were going to be a big help, weren't they? But you know, that's one of the things that we've got to overcome. It's not only in our own mind, but from outside. There are religious opinions about everything. And religion, I don't know anything that is more soul damning than religion. Religion is what happens when men develop ideas about religious matters, about spiritual matters, and they reason them out. And in this case, what you had was people who had taken God's revelation of truth through Moses, and they had distilled it into a religion. They had studied it with natural, sin-darkened minds, and they had come up with their opinions, their interpretations. And so here they were weighing in with their opinions about this situation. God help us to learn to turn a deaf ear to the voices of religion and religious opinion. Boy, if you want to see a bunch of waste of time, you go on the internet sometime, look at some of these chat sites where they're chatting about theology. Good grief. Just every kind of tradition, every kind of personal opinion that you could find. My God, we need to hear from him. That's what this man needed. They were having a big debate and a big argument. So he had to overcome all of these negative opinions. And I'm sure they were trying to encourage him, weren't they? No, they had every reason under the sun to help him minister and reinforce the doubt and the struggle that he was going through in his life. Talk about a storm. You know, we were just singing about the storm. And there's a lot of storms in our lives, and the devil is quick to pile on the negative interpretations and the negative thoughts and the hopeless thoughts into our hearts, into our minds. That's what this man was trying to cope with. And it's interesting what happened when he brought the boy to Jesus. What happened? When the Spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. I'll tell you, the devil recognizes when he's in the presence of the Spirit of God. I'll tell you, when devils get comfortable around us, something is lacking. I pray that God will fill us so full of himself that devils will hate us. They will fear us, not because of us. We're nothing. But they will fear the God before whom they cannot stand. They know what happened at Calvary. You don't have to explain it to them and convince a devil about what happened at the cross. He knows what happened. He is absolutely convinced that that was his defeat, and he knows it. God, help us to lay hold of the reality of what Jesus has done for us at the cross. But here's this devil, these devils, or whatever it was, the spirit, I guess, saw Jesus, and immediately there was a reaction. There was a strong reaction. He's going to seize hold of him and do all the damage he can. Sometimes he might have tried to kill him. I don't know. It doesn't say. But it's interesting. Jesus is interested in more than just fixing the situation. How many of you know that in your life? A lot of times we just say, Lord, fix this. We'd like it to be like that. God's interested in a lot more than just fixing situations. God is interested in us. He's interested in changing us permanently so that we are not the same person as we were before. Not just, okay, that's great, now I can go on with my life. God was wanting to do something for the man. So here's this boy wallowing on the ground. Jesus doesn't just step in and say, oh my God, I got to get this devil out of here. He just stands there and said, how long has he been like this? Well, first of all, Jesus wasn't worried about it. Somebody can sleep through a storm in a boat and all the other things that he went through. He was okay. He knew the situation was in hand. He knew that devil couldn't do anything. But he was wanting to bring the man to a place of faith. Because without faith, it's impossible to please God. He that comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And so listen to how the man approached Jesus at this point. Listen to his state of faith. I'll guarantee there's people here this morning who can relate to this. He says, but as he tells him what he's done, he says, but if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. See, at this point, he's not even sure if Jesus is enough for this problem. I'll tell you, we're in a bad place sometimes if we get to that point where we just, we think something is so impossible. Jesus can do this, he can do that, but this mountain, this situation, this need, this whatever it is, I don't even know if God can fix this one. So he was in no position, was he? God wanted to do something for him. And I'll tell you, God wants to do something for you in the storms that face you in your life and me. He is absolutely wanting to change us. So here's the situation. If you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. Oh, I don't really know. I've been listening to so many negative voices, so many opinions. Lord, I'm so confused. I don't even know what to think here.